Okay. Thank you. I'm good. Wait one moment. Okay. Okay, good. There we go.
You have to press God.
Okay, I have to press God. All right. Do you want to say a prayer?
Yeah. Oh. Oh. Dear Swami, thank you for giving us this opportunity to begin the year with regular meditation sessions with your chosen instruments, Brother Al and Sister Roseanne. And thanks to all of us who have gathered here in your presence, Swami, because we are eager seekers who are just looking for avenues to get closer to you. And this is one such session. So please help us to become more closer as we practice this meditation sessions that you have shown to us and you are guiding us. Always being with us, Swami. Please be with us as we learn and practice this. Sai Ram.
We want to thank everybody for giving us this opportunity to share Swami's teachings. And of course, we want to thank Swami himself for the opportunity to share his teachings with each other in this particular format. So, thank you. Now, I noticed my camera's a little dirty. I'm going to step out for a minute, and Roseanne's going to ask if there's any questions, and then she's going to start answering them. But I want to clean the camera because that has a lot to do with the quality of what you see and what anybody else would see if we're being taped. So I'll leave it to Roseanne.
Sai Ram. Sister Roseanne, one of our participants had sent me a question, and I think I forwarded it to Brother Al, but I can ask now. It's like we have been doing this for 1.5 years, right, with you. And so one of the regular participants was asking if we can have a revision of this meditation session. If you want to speak, brother, I'm sure you're here. You can ask the question directly too if I'm not explaining it correctly. I think it was Brother Vijay, right?
Sai Ram.
Yeah, so they wanted a revision of the meditation session, like starting from the beginning. Is that what Brother Vijay was thinking?
That's what I wanted to say, because we have been going at it for more than 15, 16 months. And over a period of time, I do not know if we have unconsciously made any changes to the basic process itself. So much so it's not really in conformance with what we started out with, what a meditation should be. So I know this could be basics of breathing and things like that, but still, I'd be very grateful, like it's done for practically every school or any academic pursuit, to make a revision, take us back to the beginning point where it all has to begin, and so take us forward from that point onwards. Thanks for that.
So you'd like us to go back to what we were teaching in the beginning?
Yes, please.
Is that correct?
No, I want to see, now we have got used to the expression meditation. I would like to start with the very first definition. What is meditation? What are we doing by meditation? Is it just a breathing exercise? Then is it anything more than just physical exercise then? What are we looking for? So and then how do we practice it so that we don't lose track of the main objective here and get caught in the mechanics of it? Because personally speaking, as a person of a considerable age, I don't have too much of time left, I think, in life to learn meditation. I'm 79 years old. Okay. Now, given that, I'm
Never too late to start.
I'm finding it very frustrating that at the end of 16 months, I have not made an iota of progress. I'm very sorry to say I'm not proud about it. And I just hope someday it'll all fall in place. In the meanwhile, I thought, let us just go back to the starting point and see what are we supposed to achieve and how are we going to do about it. It's a really very simplistic thing. I really hope you see my concern.
That's an excellent question. And Roseanne has an excellent answer for it.
I think Swami said that that when we're trying to find God, which is what meditation is about, is our getting in touch with our real self. And he said people feel frustrated because not much happens. And he said, and then sometimes there's someone else that a lot happens to very quickly. And he said that we don't know what our past lives were. And so he gives the example of someone trying to break a rock. And so they hammer and hammer it 20 times. And then the next person will come up and hammer it once or twice and it'll break. But it's because it's been all the other work. So it's like our different lives. If we've done a lot of work in a past life, it might come easier for us in this life. But if we don't have that background, then we just have to do the work. And Swami says that eventually it will happen, that we will still the mind and come into contact with our true divine self. And so what's nice about being in a group and meditating together is that we're all doing this work together and supporting each other in love. Is that
So I can add to this a little bit, because it's important to recognize that if we think we have to get somewhere in meditation, we've missed the point of meditation. Meditation is simply concentration, contemplation, and then we might experience the consciousness that is called meditation, meditational consciousness, which is beyond the mind, but we may not. And we might not even experience contemplation, but we're sitting there with the name of God. And that in the Kali Yuga is enough. The result of which is up to God, the fruit of the action. The action in this case is meditation. We sit, we concentrate as best we can. We don't have to do it perfectly. Just the intention is that we want to sit and think about the name of God. That's enough. If the result doesn't happen for 20 years or 40 years, it doesn't matter, because the action happens with the authenticity and the sincerity that God is aware that you are saying the name of God in your heart or in your mind, or the way you can, as best as you can. And that's all that matters. For the first 4 years of meditating, I got nowhere. All I got was the turmoil of my mind. That's all I got. I only had my thoughts and feelings. Occasionally I would say my mantra, which was Om Shri Sai Ram, or whatever it was, at that very beginning, which was before Swami. Fact is, those 4 years were really important to the next 40 or 50. So don't measure, just do. God is up to doing the result. God will give the result. Leave it be. Nishkama karma is so important in life, but it's even more important in meditation. Now, Swami says, if your meditations are getting nowhere, do seva and meditate. Doesn't say give up meditation for seva. Just says do more seva, do more unselfish nishkama karma for others. Do the loving service to others as best as you can, and love all and serve all as best as you can. He doesn't say perfectly, he says as best you can. And then let him give the result. Let it go. Let the result, the fruit, go. Because really, God's in charge, nobody else. And I hesitate to say this because I found out Prasanna put on 15 YouTubes on this meditation. And you know what? Now it's out there. I've said it. God does everything. And in the medical world, I'm considered a Looney Tunes. I don't care. It's up to God. God does everything. That's the truth. That's the way it is. You could take it or leave it. That's the truth. And eventually everybody will know that truth. May not know it now, but eventually everybody realizes that truth, and that is the truth. So that truth sets you free, but you got to give up the fruit. That's how it gets to set you free. And same thing applies to meditation. So what are your thoughts about our answer? Because it may not be satisfactory to you. It was so unsatisfactory that he just left the meeting. Are you still there that you could answer?
Yes, I'm here, brother.
Okay.
See, like, for example, you did mention now, starting with contemplation of God, God's name. But I also remember that we always talk in terms of starting with almost like a breathing exercise, concentrating on the inhalation with the so and exhalation with the hum. So
only 3 minutes worth, 2 to 3 minutes of breathing. No, nothing more than that.
Yeah.
No need for more than 2 or 3 minutes. 2 or 3 minutes of breathing, pranayama, 2 or 3 minutes of dharana, looking at the candle flame, which we do at the beginning of our meditation and the pranayama. And that's it. And then you sit and say God's name to yourself in whatever name and whatever form you adore, or formless. And then let God do the rest. That's it. The one who's meditating in you is God, nobody else. Let God say, God, you meditate within me. I don't know how to meditate.
Okay, but thank you very much. I'll try to going forward.
You know, the truth of the matter is, when we sit, or at least I know, I can't speak for my wife, she can speak for herself. She's strong enough to do that on a regular basis. But the fact of the matter is, what I do is nothing. When I lead a meditation, it's not, I just say, God, you lead the meditation. Bobby, you lead the meditation. Swami, you give it. I don't know what I'm doing. You do it. That's I sit here silently and say, Swami, you guide people here. I'm stepping out of the way. What do I know? Nothing.
Thanks a lot, brother. I hope for better lessons this year.
Just think, when you sit down to meditate, a great Swami from America, who was a woman, believe it or not, said to me at Swami's, at Sai Baba's, her name was Om, maybe you know her. Swami called her a Swami. You are a Swami, you're a yogi. And, you know, she didn't start off that way, but she ended up that way. And she said to me once, I was waiting in Darshan, and she came over, she said, you know how I meditate? I said, how? She said, I don't. I tell God to meditate within me. And that was so true. That led to such freedom. I wasn't responsible for the meditation anymore. God, you do it. I'll step aside.
Thanks a lot, brother.
You're welcome.
Great.
All right.
Sai Ram.
Good.
Any other questions?
Well,
Yeah, go ahead, Brother David.
I wanted to add one little tip that I use. When I feel stuck, what I'll do sometimes is I'll say, all right, well, I'm having a conversation with Swami. So I ask something and then I shut up and wait for him to talk.
Oh, there you go.
And it helps me shut up my mind. And then
Oh,
I'm
sure.
meditating. It's so simple. So just talk to Swami and then wait for him to talk back. And that's it.
Thanks for that.
Terrific. See, Swami just gave the answer through you. He doesn't have to talk through Roseanne or I. He can talk. He talks through everybody all the time. We just don't listen. He's talking through everyone all day long. God talks through everyone, everybody's actions in reflection of our actions and reactions within our universe, our little world, which we call the miniverse, all day long. It really is a multiverse because the whole universe exists as the body of God. But the fact of the matter is, each one of us individually have our own miniature universe of our experience, our family, our friends. It's common to each one of us and not common to all of us. And that's called the multiverse, because as many people as there are on Earth and as many beings, they're all experiencing their own way of living here in the universe as common universe, but in their own way, a multiverse. So that's very important, that to realize that God's speaking and doing and acting through everyone, because everyone is in the body of God. And now for sure, nobody's going to make a psychological referral to me when they hear that one. It's the truth, though. Sai Baba told me himself, I do everything. Even the blades of grass blowing in the wind, they blow exactly according to my will. I do everything. Meaning not Satya Sai Baba, the body, meaning the essence, the God self within him. The consciousness of oneness within him that he embodied from birth. Any other questions?
Sai Ram, Brother Al, and Sister Roseanne, this is Lakshmi. I have a follow-up question. When we say, I do try to take the God's name and concentrate while meditating, but I find that my mind can multitask. Even when I'm taking the God's name, you can think about other things and it starts wandering. And I know you said in previous sessions, it's all right for the mind to wander, it will come back eventually. But my question is, if I were to do that loudly, like if I were to say Rama, 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 or something else, or Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, loudly with my eyes closed, I find that my mind doesn't wander. But is that considered meditation? Because meditation is all about the mind, right? So if I'm going to vocalize and be loud about it, is that all right, first of all? And secondly,
So in the beginning it is, the beginning,
okay.
meaning in the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but always in a period of meditation, there should be silence and inner depth of exploration. If you're verbalizing, it's hard to go inside and verbalize silence. But it's a very good technique of calming the mind, what you're doing.
It's job.
Yeah, it's job.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
And-
sometimes the mind gets crazy and we really need to be like very loud. And I mean, there's the, Ramakrishna said you clap and you say, you chant God's name loud, and it drives the blackbirds away. So sometimes you do have to do that.
Yeah, like this. Om Sai Baba, 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 Om. As long as it takes, if you feel inundated by negativity, and there's a lot of negativity in this world in people right now, and we're walking in it, and we're going to absorb some of it because we're radio receivers as well as radio transmitters. And so when that happens, you just do that, and that disperses the negativity, clears the mind, and it calms it down simultaneously.
Makes sense. Thank you, Sai Ram.
At the gates of Prashanti Nilayam, near the Ganesha gate, there were many people sitting there doing that all day long. Of course, they wanted money for it. It was not quite sattvic, but they were doing it. And for them, just doing it transmuted their lack of sattva, or maybe it was rajasic activity, to sattvic activity eventually, before they passed, because they did pass. They got some benefit. Any other questions? Okay, so Roseanne has something that she wants to share.
Share some of Sai Baba's words about meditation. So I'm just going to skip around because it's too long to read, but he said, light is the greatest purifier. It dispels all darkness. So, but he's saying, in the light meditation, how we move the light around our body and into our minds, it's giving us the purification. So I don't think that that's possibly obvious to us, that that's what's happening when we're doing the light meditation. The paragraph he's saying, first he says, to get to the core of God at his greatest, one must first get into the core of oneself. For no one can know God who has not known himself. So someone asked about, what is meditation for? And meditation is for getting to know oneself and getting to know God. And Swami said, after seating oneself in a comfortable and stable posture, steadying the breath, pratyahara, withdrawing the senses from the sense objects, and purification of all the organs has to be done. And he said, when you spread the light around your body, that's the purification of all the organs. It dispels all darkness and disease. So he says, light is made to transverse throughout the body, purifying all the limbs and senses, and is installed in the lotus of the heart, in which it is to be enshrined. So the lotus of our heart is like the inner shrine. So instead of having a statue or a flower or a candle, which we can imagine God's form in our heart, we can imagine the light, the candlelight in our heart. So this is what we're teaching ourselves to do day after day, is to, in our heart, have a shrine for God. God is there anyway. God is in everyone's heart, no matter who they are or what they're doing. It's just that we're not in touch with it. So in order to get in touch with the God in our heart and to let God flow forth from our heart and direct us, we sit in meditation and we let this love in our heart shine, so that we can see God as light. We can see God in a form, say, of Sai Baba, and we always see that in our heart and in every person's heart that we meet. So there's a mental thought picture that happens when we're doing the name and form meditation, which is really important to learn how to do, to see God's form, the form of God that we love the most, which for most people here is Sai Baba. And we just, day after day after day, we see that form in our heart, so that it becomes a constant presence, and that we train the mind always to go to the heart, always to know that God is present within us. So Swami says, and this is for the purpose of dharana, which is concentration. So we're concentrating on a form of God, but it doesn't really feel after a while like concentration. It feels much nicer. It feels very loving, because we have a lot of love for Baba. So that we're training ourselves always to be in touch with our heart. And he says this leads to jhana, meditation, and ultimately to samadhi, the state of superconscious bliss.
So remember, as Krishna revealed to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, when he asked to have a vision of God, he showed him that God has a million eyes, ears. He's everything, everywhere, everyone. So he's all names and all forms. And God is all names and all forms, because it's all names and all forms that are the body of God, as the universe is the body of God. So when you call upon any name and any form that with the belief that God's in that name and form, then you get the benefit of God in that name and form. However, if you call upon the name and form of God in an enlightened, fully enlightened being who is in Brahman consciousness, as Jesus was, I and the Father are one, not when somebody's pretending, but when somebody really is, that one with the Father, Mother, God, and they have established that through the actions and experiences of their lives 24/7, not just temporarily because they had an experience, then you get the benefit of God, herself, himself, through that name and form. And you get the grace of God. But as long as whoever you believe in as an embodiment of God, and who really is God, because Sai Baba himself said, God is the only true guru. God is the only true Sadguru. So when you believe and through your experience that someone is one with God and proves it, and one of the proofs of the pudding is they never ask for money. Sai Baba himself said this, no money, because when you're one with God, the entire universe belongs to you. You're one with the entire universe. You're one with the treasure house, the treasure chest, the store of everything that is. Where is the need for money? So when somebody is a yogi or a swami and says, I need your money, forget that. They're not there yet. There's 4 stages of enlightenment. They're maybe in stage 1 if that, at best. But the fact of the the fact of the matter is, that is one of the true tests whether somebody is truly the embodiment of Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahman consciousness. My Father, Mother, God, and I are one. That's the true test of it. Not having to have money or deal with money. And Swami was truly true to that. If I wanted to give Swami money for one of the rooms at Prashanti, I had to beg him to take it. He didn't take it for himself even. I had to, please, Swami, please accept this so I can have a room in the ashram. Please, 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 Swami. And if I had an authentic purity about the request, without attachment to the result, then he took it. But for people who want to give him money personally, he wouldn't take it. He didn't take money personally. He never handled it. He'd say, give it to the ashram, give it to this, give it to that. But he never personally asked for it. Never. So that's a true test of a real Sadguru. And all the fully enlightened people that I've known, and I've known a couple of them, 2 or 3, they never asked for money. And if I tried to give them money, they refused it. I had to beg them to take money just to pay the rent or just to have them have food. They didn't care. They were completely unattached, desireless. So that is a true test of whether someone is truly one with the Father, Mother, God. We know Satya Sai Baba, for his life's message and everything about it, was truly one with the Father, Mother, God, at least. But for those who do understand Satya Sai Baba's mission, they know that he was the avatar. So, and will come again, and has come again actually already. So he's here, maybe he's 3 or 4 years old as Prema Sai Baba. But the fact of the matter is, we all have to wait till he's at least 14. We're praying he comes out at 14, because how much longer can we wait, Swami? For God's sakes, that's 10 years from now. What's going to happen to everybody in the environment and the COVID and the this and the that? Please come now. All right, I've said it. So when people pray, God responds. Whatever you pray for. If it's meditating and having some peace of mind, some love come into your heart, some expanse of consciousness, that's fine. Pray for that. If it's peace on earth, pray for that. If it's the well-being, welfare, prosperity, and health of all beings, that they may be happy, pray for that. Pray for whatever you feel in your heart to pray for, but pray, because God hears and God answers sincere prayers.
Swami said that when you say the Brahma, Brahmapnam, Brahmavir, Brahmana, Brahmana, that he said, instead of thinking my guru is Brahma, Brahma is my guru, Vishnu is my guru, Shiva is my guru, Brahman is my guru.
So we're referring to Brahma Param, but also Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara,
Oh, I
Guru
got it wrong.
Sakshat,
I'm
Param
sorry.
Brahma, Tasmai Shri Guru Ve Namaha.
I said
Instead
the
of
wrong
thinking
prayer.
that Brahma is the Guru, that say that again.
I said the wrong prayer.
Right. But instead of thinking that Brahma is my Guru, think what
Wait, instead of saying my guru
is Brahma?
is Brahma.
Brahma
say
is my
Brahma
guru.
is my guru, Swami said. Because you're going to the absolute. You're not making your physical guru, thinking that they're Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, which they are inside, but to make it even more universal, that the Brahman is our guru.
The absolute. But I'll tell you a little story, and then we'll meditate, all right? And this is the way the story goes. And it happened to me. Maybe you know the Subaraos, and maybe you're familiar with the fact that their son, I'm talking about G.V. Subarao, who was the UN ambassador from India to the UN, one of them. Not the ambassador, but he was one of the ambassador's team of Indian
He
representatives.
worked for the Atomic Energy of the UN.
Atomic Energy Commission from India. So the fact of the matter is, his sons were excellent students, top of the line, got gold medals at Swami's universities. And when the oldest son, Ravi, graduated, he was asked by Swami to be a teacher there. So when he went to graduate school, and then he graduated graduate school with his MBA, he was asked by Swami to teach there. So he taught there. And when his brother graduated with an MBA, Swami said, now you're going to get married. And he had picked out two twin women who you might know from Anantapur, went to Anantapur school and high school and college, and they were twins, and he married each of the sons of the Subaraos to each of the twins. And Swami said this wedding was planned during Krishna's time. And I was friends with the family by a number of circumstances that brought us together over a number of years. And so they invited me to the wedding. And so I had the privilege of attending this wedding with Swami. And it was a wonderful wedding, totally divine. And I had a lot of personal grace during it because I got to sit right in front of Swami at his feet. And it was just tremendous to watch Swami interact with them and basically marry them, run the show, and all the prayers and everything. It was fantastic. And then there was a banquet afterward, and we were invited into Swami's house to have a little darshan there. And then we were invited into the meal hall of in Whitefield it was. And Swami, before the meal, we all pray Brahma Panam, right? We do Brahma Panam, Brahma Havir, Brahmagno, Brahmana Hotam, Brahma Evate, Nakam Tavyam, Brahma Kama, Samadhinaha, Aham, Vaishvanaro, Budwaha, Praninam, Deham, Ashritaha, Prana, Pana, Sama, Yuktaha, Pachaminam, Chaturvidam. And everybody sits, because that's the end of the prayer. Except that in our household, we added to that prayer Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat, Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Om. We added that as a family because we like to do it that way. Swami did not sit at the end of Brahma Panam at that banquet. He just stood, and I was in the front, and he looked at me like, "Are you going to finish?" So in my mind, because I didn't have the nerve to say it out loud, I just went, under my breath, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om. And he looked at me and went and sat down. I never told him I did it that way. He knows everything about everyone all the time. He said to me once when I was going to the ashram for a number of years, 2 or 3 times a year. He said to me once, and he said, "Where's your wife?" I said, "Swami, she's in you. She's in you, Swami." He goes, acha, acha. Then Roseanne and I came in together just in 88, and I was going to go into a cave in the Himalayas like a nutcase. And Swami looks at me and goes, well, where's your wife? And I go, Swami, in you, Swami. And he goes, everyone's in me. Where is your wife? She was sitting in the back of the room. I said, she's sitting here, Swami. Yes, and I will marry you. And that was the end of my cave desire, which was really a false desire. I would have been dead in a cave within a year, or at least mosquito bitten up and from the water mold, and I would have been sick. But the fact of the matter is, Swami had a different plan for us, thank God. He knows everything about everyone all the time. He knows what we're doing right now. May not be in a physical body right now as Sai Baba, doesn't mean anything to him. Physical body, no physical body, doesn't matter. The absolute is the absolute. The absolute is within each and every one of us. The absolute experiences our lives as we experience it, because it's the antaryami, the indwelling spirit of consciousness within each and every one of us, and the source of consciousness, the absolute that we embody. That's what meditation is all about. Getting to know that, getting to experience the peace of that, the love of that, the light of that. So, okay. All right. Let's go. Pranayama first? Or anything like that?
No.
No, okay. Do your pranayama on your own.
Check.
Oh, 3 notes. Oh. Sorry. Oh. I got permission to do pranayama. This is Swami's pranayama. Breathe up the left and out the right. Close the right nostril with the right thumb of the right hand. Breathe up the left. Hold it for a moment. Then breathe out the right. Holding the 2 middle fingers of the right hand over the left nostril. It's a circular breath. Close the right nostril. Breathe up the left. This calms the mind. Hold it for a moment. When you feel comfortable, breathe out the right. Patanjali's pranayama, basic, simple. Breathing up the left, closing the right. This calms the mind. Close the left nostril with 2 middle fingers of the right hand, then breathe out the right. At your own pace now for another couple of minutes.
Are you feeling nice and calm? Check your posture. Make sure that your back is straight, neck is straight. Just gently feel yourself breathing. With each breath, feel life coming and flowing into you. Hold it a second and then breathe out. Let all discomfort leave your body. Just feel relaxed. Breathe in again. Just gently breathe in and out. If you have a candle in front of you, look at the candle. Otherwise, just imagine it in your mind's eye. Picture it in your forehead, a candle flame. Jyothi. Keep breathing in gently, imagining in your forehead this flame. If you have a candle flame in front of you, just look at it. This is concentration. See the flame. Divine light. If your eyes are open now, close them and see. Imagine in your forehead this light. Keep imagining it very vividly. The candle flame. Swami says, let it make a path from your forehead into your chest, into the heart center. Feel it illuminating your heart. Picture it there, very large and beautiful, like the bud of a lotus, shining. This is concentration, so concentrate. One pointedness in the center of your chest, the heart center. This flame is shining. This light is shining out. And we're going to visualize this flame as the bud of a lotus. One by one, petals of this beautiful lotus are opening. And as they open, this light is shining. And we just feel like the qualities, the divine qualities are blossoming within us. Just like this flower is blossoming within us, in our heart. Love. Petals are opening one at a time. Peace. And just feel this contemplation. Just feel the love and the peace that is in our heart already. Just waiting to blossom and open. Just do it as we give it a chance. If we really, really feel in our hearts this love and peace, and the petals are just opening beautifully, and we feel truth that sets us free, unchanging, indestructible truth. That is our true self. It's always deep within our heart. Let it come forth, let it flower in within us. Another petal is opening, right action. Everything we do, God directs. We live our life, we allow our life to be just done with perfection. We know the right thing. And it blossoms forth in us that all our actions are dharmic. And one by one, let the petals open and just feel these divine qualities, fortitude, forbearance, strength, compassion. Just let them open, feel them inside. Just spend a couple of minutes just feeling this beautiful presence that's within us, opening our lotus chakra of our heart. Feel how wonderful it is. This is our heart that's one with God. Feel this light and love shining. And bigger and bigger. All these wonderful divine qualities shining in our heart. Let this wonderful light purify us by shining down and out and upward all through our body. Feel it shining down our legs into our feet. Everything is just perfect, perfect. Every cell of our body is filled with light and perfection. All our organs, our stomach, our intestines, our liver, our lungs, our heart, every organ of our body is just filled with this light. Just visualize it. Shining light, perfect in God's light. Perfect. This is our perfection. Our light is shining. Let it flow through the shoulders. They're so relaxed. Down our arms into our hands. Filled with light. As Swami says, our hands, they no longer wish to do anything that's negative. Our hands only want to do God's work. They're filled with light. Everything we touch is blessed with God's light shining through us. We are instruments of light, the servants of God's light. Everything we do. Visualize it very strongly. Hands are full of light. Feel this light shining up to our neck, into our head, our tongue and our mouth, filled with this light. Swami says that we no longer want unhealthy food. We no longer want to say lies or gossip, or criticisms. Our mouth is for divine inspiration, for healthy food, for helping all that we meet. Compassionate words, truthful words. Feel it shining. It's rising up into our ears. Our ears no longer want to hear anything but the word of God, the sounds of God. Our ears compassionately hear what our brothers and sisters say. Listen with all our hearts and all our concentration to hear, to love all that we need. And it's the light is rising into our eyes, divine light. And our eyes see this light everywhere. Everything we see, we love. Eyes, windows to God. And our whole brain be filled with light. We listen to the Buddhi, the higher mind. One that says, is this right or is this wrong? Is our true discrimination? See the reality. Quiet mind. Just let yourself expand. Just feel as this light is all around you, just at the top of your head shining. The 1,000-petal lotus opening, shining.
If it's difficult to travel from the forehead to the top of the head, see it as the sun rising at dawn and follow the arc of the inner consciousness, the inner sky. As the sun transverses that inner sky to the top of your head at high noon, just let your mind rest there at the top of the head, and the whole body automatically fills with light. Every cell and atom of it automatically is transmuted into the divine, just resting at the top of the head. You can even let the mind dwell on Om as you do that, if you like. That'll help focus it. Feeling the peace, visualizing the light, feeling the love with Om, the power of Om in the mind. I am that I am. No labels needed. I am love. I am peace. I am existence, consciousness, bliss. I am Om. This temple of the body be filled with love, light, and the divinity that it is. Tips of the toes to the top of the head. Every atom is nourished. Every atom is alive, and divine God himself, herself, within you, within all and every one of you. All of us, we are one. Embodiment of God himself, herself. That's all there is. How can there be anything else? God is omnipresent. Present in each and every one of us. Each and everything that you see, touch, taste, and smell. Every thought, word, and deed you have. It's all God. God is omnipresent. Levels. Everywhere. All the time. I am that I am. Om. Expand with that awareness. Let it flow out the top of your head. Let those gates of heaven open at the top of the head, and let it flow out all around you like a fountain, love overflowing. As it overflows, it transmutes everything it touches to love, to light, to God. God is love. Love is God. Om. Om. Shining like the sun from the inner self. Shine through the transparent boundaries of the body, no longer limited in time and space. Expand. Expand. Fill the room. Fill the community. May all your friends and all your family members and everyone you think on, strangers, acquaintances, and even so-called enemies who are our best friends. They teach us how to love unconditionally. What greater lesson is there on earth than that? See them all in the light of love. Forgive, forgive, forgive. They didn't know what they were doing when they hurt you. God, forgive them. They know not what they do. Expand as the sun expands. Give light and love like the sun gives light and love unconditionally to your entire community and beyond. Everyone you see in your mind's eye, see them in the light of love. Everything you see in your mind's eye, everything that you think you know what it is, see it as God, because that's what it really is. Nothing is what it appears to be, but only what it is in reality. God incarnate, everything, everyone, everywhere, all the time. Let it go. Everything else go. Everything is a rope in the night that looks like a snake. But when the light of awareness comes, it reveals its true identity. The rope, true identity of everything is God. Be that. Understand that. Want to know that. Just understand it intellectually. If you understand it intellectually, in this lifetime, you're liberated. It's that simple. That's the first stage of liberation. It takes a while to get to the fourth stage, but you're on your way if you get it. Everything is God, nothing else, nowhere else, everything, everyone, everywhere. That includes you. All the embodiments of God. Satya Sai Baba has told us many times, I am God and I know it. He says, you are God, you just need to learn it, to realize it. Oh, it's all God. Expand like the sun in that awareness that love is all there is. Light is all there is. God is all there is. Expand, touch the sky, touch the earth with that awareness. And the whole world be filled with light and love. Let the whole of the sky and the clouds be filled with light and love. Let the stars and beyond the skies of the day and into the night be filled with light and love. Let the space, the ether between them be filled with light and love. It's all God. I am that I am. I am that I am. Be patient with yourself, be loving with yourself. If the mind still is there, it's because it's meant to be there. Stress is released, the mind comes into thoughts. So what? I am that I am is the truth. Mind doesn't have to be blank to know that truth. It just has to be known. Intellectually is enough. Intellectual awareness will lead to experience, experiential awareness, which leads to Brahman consciousness eventually. Stay with it. Insist on it. Pray and demand it. Because you already, all of us, are already free. We never were anything but free. That's how we can breathe. Because we already are God incarnate. Only God is breathing within us, nobody else. We just don't believe it yet. Believe it. Believe it because it's true. And if you believe it strongly enough, it becomes your experience. Faith in that. The inner reality of love is the outer reality of love. 100% inner God, 100% outer God. Everything, 200% God. Purnamida, Purnamidam. Om. Let it all go. Let everything else go. Wake up from the dream, at least this moment. Let the dream go. Oh, I am that I am. Brahmasmi. Oh. I am the light of love within all beings and the source of that. Oh. Source of all. I am that I am. We were never born. We will never die. We are not the body or the mind, or the thoughts and the feelings. We are not the personality. We're not our experiences. We're not any of that. We're not the individuated ego self that thinks it's the doer. We're beyond the words. The essence beyond the words. Oh. God within us was never born and will never die. We are the raindrops that have returned to the ocean, down the rivers and streams of life, into the bays, and now, letting all else go, we return to the ocean of love, the ocean of God. Oh. This is our birthright. This is our heritage. This is who we are. Raindrops merging in the ocean are the ocean. Oh, the sparks returning to the fire are the fire. Oh. Let everything else go. We ask that the Sai Baba within each and every one of you, that the God within each and every one of you come forth. Stand up. We ask in the name of God Almighty and each God within each of us rise up and reveal ourselves. Please, this moment. Swami within us, show yourself, please. Any name or any form that we call upon, reveal thy true self within us, please. Brahmasmi. I am that I am. Indivisible, eternal, absolute. Love more. Love is a path to that. Love more. More and more. Let it all go. Sai Ram, Sai Ke, Esa Prema Mara, Sai Ram, Mara, Sai Ram, Mara. Answer our prayers, Swami. Reveal yourself within us, each and every one of us, this moment. Sai Ram, Mara, Sai Ram, Mara. Esa Prema Mara, Swami. Hold to truth like a laser beam locked on to the target. Hold to truth just for a moment longer. Hold to truth. Dig deeper. Dig deeper. Determined, intense about it. I want to know my true self, Swami. Reveal yourself within us. Reveal yourself within me, Swami. Guru Deva, Sharanam Deva. Pai Prabhu, Sharanam Deva. Let it all go. Give it to him. The illusion of life. Oh. Sharanagati, Swami. Sharanagati. Now visualize everyone throughout the entire world and the entire universe being in this love consciousness, being in this divine bliss, being free in the light of God's love, being one with the ocean of love, everyone, everywhere, especially those close to you, those in need. Visualize them, love them as God loves them. As the sun gives everyone life, love them like that. Love them for the sake of love and love alone. Oh, take us home, Swami, take us home. Oh, love all, serve all. Take us home, Swami. Not physically, just spiritually. Take us home. And God bless everyone, each and every one of us, and through us, each and every being that comes into our universe of experience, a mini universe of love. God bless each and every being that we become aware of. God bless ourselves. To love oneself is the greatest gift that God can give. Don't exclude your own personal, individual self. When you love all and serve all, include yourself. Love yourself in all your experience. Forgive yourself for what you thought you did wrong, because this is only God in reality doing it. How can you feel guilty about something when it's God that did it all wrong? That's what we realize in the end. It was all a dream. God played his part perfectly in each and every one of us, so we could all come back home to live on earth in love's land, peace of God on earth, the golden age of love that we are now at the beginning of. Oh. So come back with that awareness in mind. Come back into this temple of the body, breathing into the altar of the heart. Breathing down in, bringing this experience of love and light, and whatever depth that you experienced, it was just perfect, just exactly as you just experienced it. It was exactly right for each and every one of us. Exactly whatever you experienced was exactly what God designed for you this particular night. So don't judge it. Don't measure it. Just be it, whatever it is. Just be with it. That's exactly where you're supposed to be this moment. Just with what is. It's perfect in every way. So breathing it back into your consciousness, into your body, into your heart, the altar and the temple of the body. Let that light of love burn brightly in that altar tonight and evermore afterward. And as we do this, let's own for peace in this world. That all beings may be happy, not only happy, prosperous, healthy, free of disease. Immortal beings of love have perfect absolutely perfect immune systems that no toxins can ever enter. Perfect everything. Even within this temple is perfect because it's the perfection of love. It's the perfection of God. It's the perfection of light. As we embody this consciousness, the perfection of God. Let us hope for the world that it may be healthy, happy, prosperous, and that everyone may come into their own God awareness as quickly as possible, according to God's plan. See everyone in the light of love, embodiments of God themselves, each and every one of us. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you, God. Thank you, Baba, for the life you lived on earth, the life you live in the heavens, and the life that you return to us on earth again. Thank you very, very much for all your love. Let us live that love in each and every moment of the day as best we can. Pray that you do it within us. Sharanagati Swami Koti Pranams. Sharanagati. Sharanam, Sharanam, Sharanam. Take a good 2 or 3 minutes before opening the eyes and coming back into the body awareness. But make sure you're grounded. Make sure that you're feeling your feet on the ground, rooted in the Mother Earth, like a tree roots into the earth. The roots of that tree go right to the core of the Mother Earth. And everything about this human body is perfectly aligned with the planet and perfectly aligned with the health of the planet, as well as our own personal health. We are beings of love, grounded, living on earth. Lighthouses of love that Swami has lit to lead the way home for all beings that are willing to see that way that leads back to their own inner self. Jai Sai Ram, Jai Bol Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Babaji Ki Jai. When you feel ready, you can open your eyes. So how's everybody doing? Anybody want to share anything particularly? Just open your mic and share if you'd like.
Sai Ram, Brother Al, it was most peaceful and we forgot time and then we did not know where we were and it was like out of the world experience. Jai Sai Ram.
Jai Sai Ram, that's Swami for you. An out of this world experience. So are you the same person that asked the question like not getting anywhere in meditation?
I didn't ask specifically this time.
Okay. Okay, I want to ask the person that said, I'm not getting anywhere in meditation. What was your experience tonight? If you would, sir. Maybe he has not been able to come back yet. Or maybe he has. So anybody else want to share anything? We have 6 minutes. Everybody's welcome to share whatever they would like or ask whatever they would like, as a matter of fact. Sai Ram, somebody said very peaceful. I'm glad to hear it. Swami within you is meditating, nobody else. No one else. Only Swami, all the time. Save this peace, sleep with this peace, know this peace. This is who you really are. And you do it every day at the same time, that's fantastic. But if you can't do it at the same time, do it whenever you can. For 50 something years, I've been doing it all different times of the day and night, whenever I can get to it. Sometimes if I wake up in the middle of the night, my rule is that if I wake up at 3 a.m. or beyond, I sit up and meditate. And then I go back to sleep. Swami said that's perfectly fine. 3 to 6 a.m. is that fresh ozone return oxygenation of the atmosphere as the sun comes back up over the horizon eventually. It floods the air 3 hours before appearing, generally. And the peace and love at that time, 3 to 6 a.m. It's amazing. It's so quiet. It's so freeing. Just sitting up in bed, it's just as wonderful as anything else. Sitting outside, inside, doesn't matter. That's just a good time to meditate, for instance, or any time is a good time to meditate. You can do it at the same time every day, fantastic. But if you can't, do it whenever you can, for as long as you like. 30 minutes is a wonderful time to meditate, once or twice a day. Fantastic. That's what Swami recommends. Sometimes the 30 minutes might turn into an hour and you don't even know it. That's also wonderful. You have to share.
Just remember, this is your real self. As you go through your day, through your weeks and time, just this is our real self. And just when the disharmony might come, just remember this feeling. This is the reality. And so that we don't react, and we don't get fooled that we're angry or confused. Just remember, this is the truth.
If you do react, so what? It's just bubbles. That's what Swami says.
Right.
Just bubbles of illusion. Move on. Let go.
Go back to the feeling of the meditation.
Jesus fell 3 times under the cross. What do you think that was all about? I was saying, if you fall and you pick yourself up and you march on, you don't stop till you make the goal. But the goal, when you make it, you realize, wow, it was always there. How come I didn't see it? It's always there with you in your heart. Can't not be. God's omnipresent. So he's always there. Just these Maya fools us. This dream. Daydream, night dream, 2 dreams. You wake up inside, you realize this too shall pass. And anything that does pass is but an illusion. So I guess that's about it. We'll close there. And thank you so very much for joining together tonight, meditating so ardently and deeply, because we could absolutely feel it here. You give to us as much as you think we're giving to you. We're not giving it, it's God, but we get as much out of this as you do. So
Thank you so much, brother and sister. We look forward to this every month. And I'm so grateful that you have agreed to do this year too. And We've almost fixed a date for everyone. It's the third Wednesday, unless something comes up and we let you know that we are unable to meet. It's always going to be third Wednesday. Hopefully you got my email with the calendar invite. You can add it and then it will remind you and you don't even have to remember. So you'll be there. So thank you so much. It was a beautiful experience and we will relish it and keep the recording and listen to it if you want to relive it throughout the days until we meet again. So I request Sister Anusha to say the closing prayers and we can be done. Thank you so much, Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
Asato ma satkamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam kamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, Swami, for this incredible opportunity to come together in your name and to meditate upon your beautiful form. Thank you and be with us today and every day. Sai Ram. Sai Ram, Sai Ram. Thank you, everyone. I hope you all noted that it is every month, third Wednesday. So we will send a reminder out when it gets closer.
Hey, Sai Ram, thank you.
so much, Sai Ram.
Thank you.
Sai
Thank you.
Ram.
Sai Ram.
A wonderful month.
Have a wonderful month, everybody.
Sai Ram, thank you.
Sai Ram, thank you.
Have a great week. Sai Ram.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
week.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much.
Sai Ram. Sai Ram.
Lovely to see you both after a short break, but it was good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Short break. Swami
Yes.
had to do some repairs on this body. Thank you.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram. Bye-bye. Sai Ram.
Bye.